And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Business Point on Global Television. I'm Queen Agaba. And of course, on Business Point, we discuss Nigeria's economy, government policies, tech, as well as innovation. Today, we will be discussing a significant development that's set to reshape Nigeria's economic landscape. Nigeria, as you know, has officially joined the BRICS nations. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa as a partner country. This new partnership promises to unlock fresh opportunities for trade, investment, and economic cooperation. But what does this mean for Nigeria's economy? The big question: how will it impact our businesses, industries, and Nigerians as a whole? Well, we'll delve into the details of this partnership and explore the potential impact on Nigeria's economic growth, trade relations, and global competitiveness. With my guest on the program, David Egbeji, who would help us share his insights and perspectives on these issues. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break. Thanks for staying with us. If you just joined us, this is Business Point on Global Television, your hub for economic discussions, business, tech, and innovation. And today we're discussing the impact of Nigeria being a partner country with the BRICS nation, with my guest on the program, David Egbeji. Many thanks for joining me, David.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So Nigeria's economy has faced significant challenges in recent years, including recession in 2016, ongoing struggles with inflation, unemployment, and all of that. In this context, Nigeria's membership in BRICS as a partner country has been hailed as a major opportunity for economic growth and development. What do you think are the benefits of this partnership, and how do you think it will impact Nigeria's economy?
Well, that's a very good question. Yes, the Nigerian economic ecosystem is one with a lot of complication and a lot of technicalities. But as a partner, not a full member, as if I understand properly, as a partner with the BRIC nation, it's my honest opinion that it will provide a diversification for the Nigerian economic and trade agreements. Although we can actually mention that Nigeria already has a trade agreement with the United States of America, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, I think, and with the EU, the Economic Partnership Agreement. Now, with the BRICS nation or Nigeria joining the bloc, not as a full member, as a partner, provides provides an avenue for Nigeria to operate in the grey region without, angering its trade partners, that is the traditional US and the UK and the EU as well.
Nigeria is part of the G20 country, and now as a partner country with BRICS, Britain, Russia, India, and China as well. How do you think this might impact Nigeria's relationship with the US, knowing that the US and Russia and these countries are not in good terms?
I understand. Thank you. Good questions again. Well, the G20 is more of a military alliance or a security alliance, and just like India, that has agreements and alliances with the West. It also plays a pivotal role in the trades of Russian oil and the resale of the same afterwards. Yeah. So, like I said, a partnership with the BRICS nation is it's the gray region right now, not a full membership. So basically, if Nigeria was to be a full member of the BRICS nation, obviously the G40 alliance could be it could be in jeopardy, right? Because of the loggerhead between the United States of America and most BRICS nations. And as recently said, I think 1 day ago, President Donald Trump said the de-dollarization of the US dollars will mean 100% tariff increment for all BRIC nations. So such a tariff hit on Nigeria is not something that Nigeria can take it. So being a partnership provides avenue for diversification, while also providing dependency as well as good terms with our G20 partners, that is the US and the UK. So since it's the G20 being more of a security and military alliance, it does not yet affect an economic and trade alliance such as Nigeria joining the bloc as a partner.
Nigeria is already a key player in African trade. We serve as a major hub for regional commerce. Quite all right, but however, our partnership with BRICS, as a partner country, may lead to a shift in our country's trade priorities, particularly in terms of impacting relationships with other African countries. How do you think we can balance our commitment with BRICS with its existing trade relationships in Africa, like our relationships with other trade relationships in Africa?
Okay. With other African countries, I think the BRICS agenda is to see to it that Nigeria, as well as many other African countries, try as much as possible to join the BRICS nation. This is, I think, one of the major selling point or goal for the BRICS nation. So in terms of Pan-African relationships, in terms of trade and commerce, you ask yourself questions like, okay, what are the primary and the traditional trade partners for Africans, for Nigeria rather, partnership in, for example, the Gulf of Guinea, the Gulf of Guinea Alliance, as well as the other, let's say, trade agreements across the continent. So far, if Nigeria is to join the BRICS nation, it will mean that all the stakeholders have to go back to the drawing board and see to it how they can coexist in Africa, right? Pro-Western countries as well as pro-BRIC countries, which is a division that Africa does not need right now. For example, if we're talking about a united African Union that provides somewhat of a modus operandi that looks alike like the EU over there in Europe, then it is important to be in one single accord. So if we're talking about a relationship between Nigeria as a BRIC partner and other African countries which are, for the lack of a better word, I would say pro-West, I don't see that road as a very clear one at this instance. It will lead to more economic tension, tariffs not being, and then also a jeopardization of the structure that's been set up at the moment or a call for a united Africa or African Union. So it's a very interesting development that we have to keep an eye out on, and it should provide for interesting conversation, intellectual research, as well as when you have this difficult conversation. In my honest opinion, it provides avenue for real growth, and that is what Nigeria needs right now. We need to grow.
Okay, thank you, David. But the BRICS market is a very massive and growing economic bloc. And, we've had analysts say that the GDP is of over $16 trillion. And as a partner country, you'd agree with me that Nigeria would have increased access to these markets and would be open to a lot of opportunities for businesses here in Nigeria. But however, the market is also highly competitive. And, Nigerian businesses may face quite a number of challenges, particularly in the area of penetrating this market. Can we look at opportunities and then look at these challenges you think that these businesses will face, and how we can navigate the BRICS market?
Okay, well, thank you for that question again. So if I understand your question correctly,
can you hear me?
Talking about, yeah, I can hear you, Mike. I can hear you. Can you hear me, please?
Okay. So I said, the BRICS market is massive, and it's a massive and growing, has a massive and growing economic bloc, and we've had analysts say that the combined GDP of this market is over $16 trillion, and as a partner country, Nigeria would have access to opportunities, would have access to the market, and it will mean opportunities for businesses in Nigeria. But the market is also highly competitive, and Nigerian businesses here in Nigeria, businesses in Nigeria may face challenges, particularly in the area of penetrating this market. What do you think are some of these challenges and the opportunities that we might look out for, and then how do you think Nigerian businesses will be able to face the challenges that this BRICS market may bring?
Okay, well, thank you so much. So basically, when it comes to economics and you're looking at the market, you break down the whole transaction towards demand and supply. Okay, so we have a supply of what natural resources, oil being our chief exports, and now we have an avenue for a demand for this. So joining the BRIC Alliance is let's call it a new demand for our now existing products. So when we're talking about the opportunities, if I understood your question correctly, if we're looking at the opportunities that a partnership with the BRIC nation provides, it's a lot. You can point to them almost on a single second. So, for example, joining the BRIC Alliance will reduce over-reliance on Western trades. That's no doubt. It provides avenue for new supply, right? So, Nigerian markets, both small and medium, both big corporations as well as SMEs that are looking to scale and grow now have an opportunity to trade with receive demand from other but every idea has consequences. So such an opportunity is a very good and welcoming idea, but the consequences in relations to all the trades that are already in agreement that are already in play right now is where we do not yet understand fully. Okay, so but when we talk about the demand and the supply, we have the supply, there's a new demand. And being a partner with this country will provide avenues for us to capitalize on this new demand for our natural resources, right? Then also joining BRIC will allow Nigeria to diversify its trade relationship, reducing heavy dependence on Western markets. That's the second one. And it provides alternative to, let's say, the loans that we normally receive from the Western countries. We'll have the New Development Bank, which is one of what the BRIC nation. I can't say very well about this New Development Bank, but from my understanding, with such that will provide avenues for Nigerian businesses and Nigerian businesses, both large and small, to see new loans, and the government could actually have access to new loans from new trade partners as well. And we've not yet talked about the technological and industrial collaboration. That's good for Nigeria in a world where we have like competitive, technologies, the new AI, cryptography, and all of that. Alliance with more and more powers. For example, the Indian government has actually sent up a satellite to space, and we provide alternative for when there is, a, a breach in service provision, or something of that nature. You get the point. You get for that. When there's a breach in service from our Western allies, you provide an alternative backup in order to sustain and keep your business going with the new technologies that the BRIC nation provide. But I would like to say again, ideas have consequences. What will we do in order not to look to our traditional partners? Hello, are you there? Can you still hear me? Hello.
Please go ahead. I can hear you clearly.
All right. So, in order not to come off to our traditional trade partners as somewhat rebellious, it's important that we, look for a diplomatic approach and take into consideration the consequences to this very, very wonderful, or the very wonderful idea of joining the BRIC nation and having to capitalize on new demands for our raw materials. But also, we should do it in a diplomatic sense in order not to sow more division, uncertainty, and add to the already existing chaos that exists here in this wonderful planet, Africa. Thank you. Continent Africa.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I said continent Africa, not planet Africa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You've highlighted many potential benefits for Nigeria as a partner country. But do you mind, talking to me about some of these challenges or risks? Do you foresee any risk with Nigeria, being a partner country? What are these risks that you foresee? And how do you think we should be able to mitigate it?
Okay. Well, thank you. Very good questions. Very good question. The first one is sanctions. The first and very obvious one is sanction. Sanction from, say, the United States government. Although right now, as partnership, we are only allowed, Nigeria as a country is only allowed to take part in meetings, okay, to participate in BRIC meetings and the likes. We're not yet full members, so President Donald Trump's tariff, if done properly, should not yet affect us. But when you start a partnership, the long-term goal is that you aim to move forward with that relationship, right? You need it to lead somewhere. So if we're going to penetrate the BRIC nation, we hope to have a baby at the end of the day. And that baby could be a full membership. And these RICS2 dynamics could mean if we become full members, we will receive 100% tariffs from the U.S., the U.S. government or the president, the U.S. President Donald Trump. That's sanction. This is one of the RICS. Market access and trade preferences. So we already have trade partners with trade agreements rather with the U.S., which is AGOA and EPA for the EU. With this tension between the West and the East or the Orient, and also the middle ground, which is Russia, we will be dragged towards our loyalty will be tested when it comes to loyalty in terms of geopolitical alliances, as well as and political as well. There's some liberal that say, okay, yeah, the world's a free place, it's a global marketplace. Let's continue globalization. Whereas some other people say nationalization is more. These are new economic philosophies and new economic leanings that are yet not understood very well, especially given technology. Now, traditionally, businesses were actually bordered around the terrain, right? If you want to do business, you know the Nigerian border, you want to trade with Cameroon, you go across the border. Right now, the internet provides a very fluid atmosphere to perform businesses with other countries, but there is still need for you to show that where your loyalty in terms of the global outlook. What is the geopolitical tension in that neighborhood? What is the implication of a partnership with, let's, for the lack of any better word, I will use I wouldn't say enemy. What is your, what's your loyalty? And why are you trading with someone that is considered by your trade partner as not so much of a friend, rather he's considered as a foe? Okay, that's the word, a foe, not enemy, but a foe. So all of these are the various questions that will clearly answer the direct implication of a trade agreement with the BRIC nation and a full membership as well, a full membership into the BRICS nations as well. So there are a lot more, those that are beyond my commenting, and but this is all I can say for now. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. But I'm just going to ask you this last question now, back, to Nigeria and the benefits for Nigeria. Many have feared that, alongside the many benefits that this partnership offers to Nigeria, that it also could pose as a significant risk of, inequality and uneven distribution, of these benefits. Do you think in that direction as well? And then how do you think that we can ensure that the benefits of this partnership is equitably distributed amongst Nigerians, and then the implication for our long-term economic development and social stability? What do you think about this?
Yes, to answer, thank you very much. To answer that, I'll need a blueprint. So that this is where you and me are in unison right now. This is where we have to ask ourselves the question: what is the BRIC agenda? And these outcomes, what avenues are there? What avenues are already laid in play in order to provide the liquidity that BRICS nations can provide, right? How will it be distributed to the grassroots level? So Nigeria being a partner, it's a good avenue for those representing the country Nigeria to ask these questions, like, okay, what do you bring? Then we can actually say, okay, yeah, what this is bringing, this is how we're going to share it. So if we don't yet have the white paper or the blueprint or the architectural layout, or however you want to call it, of how Nigerian BRIC partnership, the direct fiscal implication to our country, we cannot tell for a fact whether or not the produce will be shared amongst us equitably. So we have to first of all understand how this will be, and then provide avenues for, then we'll look at the implication on how the equitable distribution is. But like most of the things, I'm sorry, I will just round this up. Like most of the things, corruption is almost inevitably embedded in the Nigerian system. And it will be overly ambitious to expect an equitable distribution, even both in BRICS or even if we're talking about a trip to the Holy Lands. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing your insights and perspective on this matter. We hope to have you again in our studio.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Well, that's how much time will permit us to take on the program. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. Until tomorrow, I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.